there's so many people around just like saying hi. People are meeting for the first time. Everybody's so excited, and you're just like going everywhere. And I'm like, is that Nate Holler over there?
And I said, it is not.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it is, man. Like, it is. So I walk over, and I'm like, hey, you're Nate Holler, right? And he's like, no.
No, I don't know who that is.
I was like, yeah, you are. And he's like, no. And I forget, he said his name, and his friends are like, they think I'm like trying to start a fight. I'm like, no, I just think I'm Nate Holler, man. I was just saying hi. And so it's literally not you, and I'm telling the guy, I'm like, there's just...
And she goes, no, you just don't want to be recognized. You are Nate Holler. I got you.
I got cats out of the bag, man. Like, just say hi.
Do we know who this guy is?
I forget his name.
Imagine if I was like, let's bring him in, and he was right here.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of On The Porch with Front Porch Music. I'm Jenna.
And I'm Logan. Today we talked to a artist who you may have seen up and about a long time ago as Mr. Chipwreck.
If you're me or you're from the KW area, you might know him from your local high school lunchroom. He performed with on a little high school tour with the Reklaws. Way back in the day.
Way back in the day.
Yeah.
Now, he's Nate Holler.
He goes by Nate Holler.
Yep, not Chipwreck anymore.
Chipwreck's definitely not dead, though.
No, he's not dead. He'll be back.
Yeah, we chatted with Nate about a lot of things, actually. His breakout debut single, Lightning in a Bottle, which did so well. I still love that song. I don't know about you. It's just it's a banger.
And we played a great game at the end.
We did. We learned a lot about him, too.
We did. It was a really great conversation.
Yeah, he was so much fun. Thanks for sticking around, and here's our episode. All right, welcome back to the front porch, the virtual front porch, on the porch with Front Porch Music. We have a special guest in studio with us today. What's up, Nate Holler?
Hey, thanks for having me. How are you guys?
Oh,
Good. We're
good.
doing so good.
Yeah.
And we saw on Instagram that you are like around the corner from us right now.
Yeah, are you in Kitchener
Really?
today? In Waterloo today? Yeah, man, I live in Waterloo.
You live in Waterloo. Unbelievable.
I don't know if you remember this because the CCMAs were chaotic, but when you came to the front porch little space at Media Row, I was like,
Yes.
hey man, I live in Laurelwood. And you're like,
do
my
remember
parents
this.
live in Beechwood. Yeah, that's me.
I do remember this.
So hey,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I love Waterloo. I'm actually in Toronto right now. But yeah, so I'm going to go
Reminder.
back and see my little nephew and hang out with mom. And,
oh,
Cute.
yeah, it's going to be good.
that's adorable. Wow.
Yeah. Unreal.
Locals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
seriously.
are you from Waterloo?
Not originally, but I went to like high school here. I have a memory. Okay, we need to figure out when Nate Hall turned into Nate Holler, but we'll do
Yes.
that after.
When I added the
Because-
ER.
Yeah. But I remember, I think maybe in the 11th grade, or I might have been in the 12th grade, one day all of a sudden these like people just came into our like lunchroom and started playing music on our stage, and it was the Reklaws and Nate Hall. And I was like, and it took me like a couple years. Actually, before I met you last year, I was like, did he play at my high school back in the day? And you definitely did.
I definitely did. I remember doing like a high school tour. I tried to hit every high school.
That's so
and we
funny.
were always playing on lunch breaks, it
Yeah.
seemed. Or we'd go to like into a class, I guess sometimes, but we would just like, that's back in like, I used to do like a pop thing a little bit. So I was like writing pop music a little bit. And I think that's probably what I was doing.
That's so funny.
hilarious. What year? That was years ago, right? Like
2013.
oh my goodness.
Or no, I was not in high school in 2013. 2011 or 2012 maybe. Yeah.
Crazy.
Right
Isn't
when I
that
was
funny?
graduating university.
Sorry. Yeah,
So
there was
wild.
the Reklaws, yourself, and then another guy, Scotty.
James.
Scotty James. Yeah,
I remember he was doing the same circuit.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Those were the good old
Local
days.
days.
How is it performing in front of high school students? Because that sounds like it would be terrifying.
It
They
is
weren't even paying
terrifying.
attention,
They're all-
probably.
yeah, they're all
Especially on
eating.
lunch hours. Like things are going to be thrown at you if you're not great.
100%. I don't know if I ever got. Maybe I did get some stuff thrown at me. They just didn't care. That there's just
No,
they were
not a
like, I
bit.
don't know why. I'm not sure why you're here. I don't know any of these terrible songs you're playing. So it
Yeah,
was.
I didn't care.
See, didn't care. You could at least fake it for me here today.
Yeah, Jenna was the one. Jenna was the one throwing stuff at you.
I'm
Yeah,
so sorry.
you threw a pop can at me.
It was me. I'm sorry.
How dare you? I did when I was playing for Kira Isabella. we would do this thing where the whole band would walk on. We were playing in like clubs and bars, and we would all walk onto like a bar, like on the top of the bar top, and do like an acoustic thing. And I got there was a fight, and I got a beer can thrown, full beer can or like half full beer can thrown at my guitar. And there's still a dent in my guitar from that, but it was spilled everywhere. It was all over me, and it was still fun.
No.
Those are the moments where, it's just incredibly humbling.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Do you have too much adrenaline in the moment? Like stage, you're like performing, you're like, oh, this is okay. It'll be fine.
Yeah, you just got to keep going.
A little shower.
Yeah.
Just a little shower and you're good to go.
I didn't mind. I like beer, so I just kind of, I lapped it up.
Okay, let's go back to my quick question.
Yes.
I recall you like doing the high school circuit as Nate Hall. So when did we become Nate Holler?
When did we become Nate Holler? I feel like I've been working on the Nate Holler project. We just didn't necessarily have a name for it, and it was different than what I was doing. It took me like years of figuring out what I wanted to do and how I wanted to be heard and seen and that whole thing, and just kind of figuring out who I was as an artist and as a person. Okay. Because there's some crucial years where you do a lot of developing that I was working on my career stuff. Yeah. So for whatever reason, I had done like this pop stuff years ago, and it just didn't feel like me at all. It was an awesome thing. I was working with really cool people, but it didn't feel right. So I started playing. I went on the road with Kira, and I always listened to country music, but I'd never tried to write it or play it. And kind of at that time, I was like, there's going to be a country project, because that made a lot more sense to me. And then I think it was actually, it might have been Stu from the Reklaws or Callum, but someone said Holler, and I was like, that's cool. That's got to be it.
Works.
So it was not far off. We just added a little ER, and it felt like the right thing for this project. So that's kind of how it came about. It was just it wasn't like one day we were like, it is Holler, and I'm writing. Yeah. It was just kind of felt better, and I had been writing, especially with Callum, my music director, for probably 5 years, like or like 4 years, trying to figure out what the project was going to be, and with always a new, like a departure from my old stuff in mind. So, it just kind of naturally happened.
When you traded in the fedora for the ball cap.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I that shouldn't be allowed. I shouldn't have had a fedora on.
You still have all of this on your Instagram.
I know, I kind of like it, because if I take it down, then it's like, that was a part of my life at one point.
You got to embrace that.
Yeah, right. I made terrible choices.
Stop letting Jenna shame you. Jenna, stop it.
Yeah.
When we last chatted, you had just, Somewhere to Drink had just come out, which was a party.
Yep.
But we had asked about your bar on wheels, and you and your dad actually built that. So why don't you tell us about that a little bit, because that's dope.
Yeah, so we were just trying to figure out, like, originally there was talks of a tour happening, but COVID, I mean, we all know what's happened there. So we were just trying to figure out a cool way that felt very like me to do something, and we were like, nothing was open at that time, so we got the idea that we would just bring a bar that we could take anywhere, or build a bar that we could take anywhere, and we'd always have somewhere to drink, which is a cheesy little thought, but it was kind of fun. So me and my dad,
well with the song.
Yeah, exactly. Me and my dad had like this idea. We weren't sure if it was even possible, so we literally just bought a flatbed trailer and started like building walls, and it was tricky because like essentially there's like 100-kilometer-an-hour winds on this thing all the time when you're driving it. So we had to like reinforce all the like trusses, and it was a lot more than I thought it was going to be. It took a while. I went to Waterloo, and it was just parked in my parents' driveway. And I just stayed there for like...
Your neighbors are like, what is this guy up to?
They probably hated it. We have neighbors that like, some of them are great, but some of them complain about everything. So I don't know how we didn't get more complaints. But then I drove it. So once it was done, I drove it to Toronto, and I live on a relatively busy street, and I parked it here for 2 weeks because we couldn't find anywhere else to park it. And I got so many complaints. If any of those neighbors are listening, shame on you, because I was just trying to work. They were like, he's selling booze out of that thing. And I was like, I'm not doing that. They never gave me a ticket. They came and were like, knocked on my door, and they were like, what is this? And I was like, it's literally just for a song. I'm sorry.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, it's going to be gone soon. But no, it was so fun. And to build it with my dad was unreal too, because it was like something we used to do.
Oh, that's so fun.
We had built a cottage together years ago. My dad is just good at doing that. He doesn't do that for work, but he's just like kind of taught me some of those skills. And it was a fun thing to do again, because it'd been a minute since we'd done that.
That is cool.
Yeah.
So is the Bar on Wheels gonna travel now, or like what's the?
There might be a couple shows that are close by that the bar's coming to. Shows.
Well, you will have to let us know.
I will, because it's a fun little thing. Like, side of it opens up. I don't know if you've seen like photos or anything, but side of it opens up. Oh, I guess it's in the video. I forget things. So the side of it opens up, and like the back pops open, and it's like there's a bar at the back, and then a bar in the middle of it. So it's pretty fun. I'll let you know. I'll drive it. I'll take it to Waterloo again, and we can honestly, have a little bev.
Bring it through Laurelwood. We'll just park it on my court. My neighbors won't complain.
Yeah, 100%. That'll be okay.
The pandemic was an interesting time, obviously, for everybody. But you had from our perspective.
For you, yeah.
For you, it seemed like a great time. Just because, like, your debut single, Lightning in a Bottle, came out, and it was lightning in a bottle. Yeah. It did really great things. What was that kind of like to experience, a song that's popping off, especially your debut, but like not able to go out and promote it in the traditional way?
Yeah, I talk about it a lot because people ask me a similar question, and it is like such a strange thing, because I've played like 3 real shows as Nate Hall.
That's nuts.
And now we're on single 3. It's been awesome. Like, social media is a great thing, but it's not the same as like getting out there with people. So, I don't know. It was really cool. The shows that we had played have been awesome, because like I went up and played a show with the Barker Boys, just acoustic. We played Lightning, and everyone knew the song, which was so cool. But it's weird for my brain, because it's like, I don't know how they're hearing the song. It's great. It's because amazing radio people and people like you guys and all that, and the support. But it's just like, it's literally behind it. It's been behind a screen that I'm seeing people.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
So it's such a strange time.
What was that moment? What was that moment like when you were standing on the stage at the Barker show and people were singing the song back to you? What goes through your head at that moment? I didn't even know how to comprehend it, because I love going and seeing shows and seeing my favorite artists. So the feeling, you guys know, like the feeling in a crowd when people are singing to whoever's songs is like the coolest thing ever. And I had done that so many times watching, Eric Church, people I love. And then for it to happen, on some level for me was like,
you.
And then all of a sudden you become the favorite artist.
It was so cool, yeah. And it's just like, all these people just knew the song from hearing, like they don't really know me. I don't have a crazy amount of Instagram followers or anything like that, So it is the strangest thing, but I'm very, very thankful that, radio's been so supportive and people online. It's weird time, but it's a lot of fun.
Did you kind of like, you decided like, I'm going to put my solo project out, and then the pandemic hits and you're like, did you ever think like, oh, maybe I should wait? Like, let's wait, see if we can get through this first? Or were you like, no, it's happening now? I was always going to
do the solo project, but I don't know if it would have happened as soon as it did if it wasn't for the pandemic. Because I would have been, in a weird way, I would have been probably on the road playing guitar for the Reklaws. And I probably would have still been,
Oh, right. Yeah.
They had like a bunch of shows that we were getting ready to do. And then all this happened. So
it kind of pushed you to do it.
Yeah, a little bit. It was just like, we have all this time, and I was lucky enough, like, this was Callum's room. It's not anymore, but this was Callum's room that I'm sitting in. So I sang a lot of the Somewhere to Drink vocals, like right here. We had a mic. And it was just, we had time, and we had some gear that we could start recording demos, and like, that's all we could do really at that moment. Stu lived here too, so we were just writing and hanging out.
The 3 of you would have had some fun.
Yes, we did. But it was like, I felt very thankful that we were kind of stuck in the house, like in that setting, because a lot of my friends were just alone, like hanging out, it wasn't fun to be stuck here, but it was like, we made the best.
If you had to be stuck.
Yeah,
you totally did.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
it would have happened, like there were talks of it happening soon, the solo thing, but I don't know if it would have happened as soon as it did.
Because you would have been busy. So you played guitar for the Reklaws for a few years, right?
Yeah, a couple of years. I started as Chipwreck, the party captain. I don't know if you remember that, but on the Winners of Beach tour.
And there was like a resurgence of Chipwreck.
Oh yeah, Chipwreck.
Not that long ago.
No, we wrote that quarantine song.
Right.
In quarantine because we were bored. So it started as that, and then Callum was like, Nate sings and plays guitar. Like, we should see about that. And then they asked me to play at the Junos with them. And that was like I played a bit on Winners of Beach, and then I think the Junos, I was Chipwreck, so all those, like, the screens had, like, me doing silly things as the party captain of the tour. and then they just asked me to, like, play with them full time, which was, it was so cool. They taught me so much and still do to this day. But yeah, it was very nice of them to bring me out and show me the ropes.
When did you kind of start, like, get connected with Stu and Jenna?
So I was playing...
Because we're all locals, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't know them from, like, home, like Waterloo or Cambridge or anything.
Yeah.
I knew of them just because they were around and I was playing with Kira. So when I was playing guitar for Kira, Zubin, who is now Shawn Mendes MD, was just like, he still is my mentor. He's the best. I talked to him yesterday for like half hour, and he's like so helpful with everything. And he basically was like, if you can learn these songs and can sing, in 2 months you can come on the road with Kira. So that's how I started, like, first thing, which was so nice of him, because I play guitar to write mainly. I'm not like an insane guitar player, but I get by.
Okay.
So he brought me out on the road, and at one point he left because he started Shawn stuff, and he had hired Callum to like fill in on guitar. And at that point, Callum had just got the job with the Reklaws, and for whatever reason, Callum and I like met twice, and then he called me. He was like, "I'm looking for a place to live. Like, do you wanna get a house?"
Is that real?
No, seriously, I didn't have a house. I was living in Waterloo, and it happened that my uncle owned this house down the street from the one we're in now, and was like, "Yeah, you can rent it for, you know, pretty cheap." So Callum and I just, like, the third time I met him was moving into this house.
In.
Yeah, and then
that's really funny.
Yeah, and then Stu was just around because of that, and it was kind of just like started as just a bunch of buds. But yeah,
fun,
weird. Sorry, that was a long-winded answer, but it's kind of complicated.
No, it just like you're always hanging out with the Reklaws, and you've toured with them. So I was like, how long have you actually known each other? But it's like not as long.
Turns out not that long.
Not as long as we thought. Yeah.
It just went from like hanging out. Callum was on the road for the first 2 weeks that when Stu moved into the house. So he was like, "You want to go get a stir fry?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then we did that, and then, like, I don't know, we just went on the road after that. It was pretty weird.
That's so.
Those are moments that are like, okay, well, was clearly meant to happen.
Yeah.
We're gonna be best friends.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I love that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
You're pretty, like, you're funny. You're not, like, super serious. Like, you like to have a good time.
No,
obviously,
not at all.
Whatever is proof of that. Yeah. Like, what's your take on, like, you know, getting down serious and just, like, is it like you're just, like, living the dream, having so much fun, and you want everybody to, like, because you're also, like, we're sitting here and I'm getting hyper talking because you're just hilarious. Like, you're having so much fun. You're just, like, so happy to tell us all this stuff too, right? So, like,
you also haven't finished a sentence yet.
I know. I haven't even asked the question, but, like, is that how you always are? It's just like, I'm here to have, like, good time and, like, make buddies, and, like, that's how I roll? Or
I've been like that since I was little. Like, all I want to do is hang out with people, and the fact that I feel like, because I was playing guitar and wanted to do this solo thing for so long, the fact that I get to do it now, I'll never take, you know, these interviews, these chats, anything for granted. Like, I'm so excited to do them all the time, just because that's all I want to do. So I'm serious sometimes. There's, like, decisions that have to be made.
When you gotta be, right?
Yeah, but for the most part, it's pretty well this. I don't take myself too seriously. It's cool if people want to be serious, but it's just not my vibe most of the time.
There's too much fun to be had.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things.
So you had Lightning in a Bottle. Let's go back to that just quickly. Did you know when you were recording that, when you kind of heard the masters coming back, you're like, this is going to be a good song, people are going to like this? Or were you like, I hope it sticks?
I think I'm always thinking, I hope people like. It's not like I'm like, this is a smash hit. Just because, I don't know. It's never, I just don't think like that. Like, I've had so many years of people not really, I'd write a song and they'd be like, yeah, that's cool. Cool. Like, I feel like it is like that. Like, it's so weird.
It also feels like a weird thing to say. This is so good.
Like you know how sometimes you get a feeling though, you're like, people are gonna like this. I think people are gonna like this. You know?
Yeah. The first thing was I was just like, I was trying to impress like my management, like Shannon and all of them. Just like, are they gonna like my voice on it? I practiced so hard before I sang it. And they liked it, and that made me excited. I feel like more. I'm trying to get like my peers, like I want Callum to like a song, or Stu or Jen, or like that gets me really excited, and I hope that translates to more and more people, because that's the goal, is just to try to get the word out on what I'm doing to as many people. But
it's important to have those people in your circle who will give you an honest opinion as well.
Yeah, very honest.
There's so many people who are just like, that's great, good job.
Yeah,
and then but you really need the criticism sometimes, and you need to have those. And you don't want it from just anybody, but you need to have those people that will give you the honest feedback.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, I'm lucky that they do that. But yeah, I'm very excited that Lightning did what it did, but I just am always thinking like, okay, now I got to follow it up with something. Yeah. And what's an album going to look like? What is this show? Like, I'm going to rehearsal later tonight, and we're building like the summer sets for there's like a few different lengths we need. So, I don't know. It feels like there's always something to do, so
yeah.
I don't think
you're always working on the next thing, right?
Yeah, I don't really think about it too much once it's done.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's probably healthy.
Yeah, True. I guess I don't really. There wasn't a conscious thought about that, but I hope it's healthy.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. And then Somewhere to Drink. How did you get connected with Brett Kissel, and why did that make sense for him to join in? Because that video is fun. You can tell that's all you hit record and you had a blast.
Yeah. I don't know exactly how that came about, that everyone was on the song, but I had heard the demo like a year before that, like right around when I was recording Lightning. And I just thought it was so fun and like just a party song. It felt like nights we had in this house. And so that's why it made sense for Stu and Jen. And then Dishing a Kissel was just kind of a cool thing. And there was some other stuff we were going to do, which didn't happen, so I won't even talk about it. But so it made a lot of sense, and it was just, I feel like it was fun. It's a lot of voices on the song, but I feel like it came out pretty
Yeah,
cool.
It was fun, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sure did.
You roll up to recording day with this, like, I built a bar, it's going to be
Yeah, that was kind of like the concept of the video was rolled around the bar right from the get-go, so... It was really fun to do, but it was like the video's so snowy. It started like, it was like one day where it wasn't supposed to snow, but it did, and we had to kind of pivot a little bit what the video was going to look like. But I think Ben did a great job, Ben Nechtel. But it was like so cold. There were like contest winners out there, and my friends, and everyone was just like shivering. It was so fun, but couldn't have been a snowier, wetter day.
Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
That's okay. It turned out great. Still fun. Yeah. Have a little shot or two, get warm up, and
we did.
Off you go.
Yeah. By the end, like Ben was like, the last scene we did was the like close up fisheye lens at kind of near the end of the video in the trailer. And we were taking actual shots at that point. And Ben was like, all right, maybe we'll mix in some water or something. So, yeah. Not actually, but we were consciously being like, okay, we could probably not have a third shot.
Hold back.
Still have to work.
Yeah. Well, this is a great time for us to take a really quick break. We'll be right back with Nate Holler.
Hey, it's Nate Holler, and you're on the porch with Front Porch Music.
So, Nate, you were actually part of the 2021 Top of the Country presented by SiriusXM, and you were in the top 8 last year. So why don't you tell us about that experience and how that worked out for you?
That was such a great experience. Like, Sirius and everything, like, they kind of like focused you. It was a weird year, obviously, because it was COVID. So like we were supposed to do these in studio sessions, and they never really ended up happening. It was like, but they gave you like focused tasks that helped you build skills to like even just create like small videos, and it was such an unreal like opportunity for me, and I was very happy to be a part of it. But yeah, again, it was this weird, like we were doing Zoom meetings for the first time for that, and it was strange but awesome.
So how does the Sirius XM, so us as on this side, we're seeing that right now what they're going through is they're all going into the studio and recording, and there's going to be a video, and everybody gets to choose from there. So how did that work since you couldn't do the studio sessions?
How did we do it? I think we just figured out how to do it with like a certain crew instead of like, or with our own producers, I'm pretty sure is what happened. So like I was lucky because Callum was able to help me with stuff, and we were able to do stuff kind of over the internet with a producer that we work with, Todd, in Nashville. Right. So I think that's what we ended up. I think everyone it was just kind of this weird, even the live thing, strange navigating all that, but still the same goal is to like get content out and get songs out and be working on your thing. Yeah.
What was the biggest takeaway from that for you?
I think I learned a lot about creating content in general. I struggle with, I'm not great at Instagram and like TikTok and all this stuff. So they gave me some like tools, and you know, there were like a little bit of budget to get some things that you needed. Ring lights. I bought a ring light, you guys. But it was an unreal experience.
What was the CCMA weekends like for you? Because was that your first CCMAs?
It was my first CCMAs as Nate Holler. I had done it with Stu and Jen, but it was so fun. Like going and watching all the shows, seeing my friends perform, doing like the media, is it called Media Row? For the first time.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Sure is. Yep.
Wasn't it so nice just to like, it was like the first event with like the pandemic where we could actually see people in person. Wasn't that just...
It was unreal.
Amazing?
Yeah. There's a part of it that's like, I kind of felt like I was doing something wrong all weekend. Because it was like, I'm
taking my mask off.
Everyone was doing like the, like the checking their mask, making sure. It's so strange, but it was so nice being in like real rooms with actual people.
Human beings.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it gave a lot of people hope for like, it's coming back. So...
We're coming out of
I was thankful to be there, and watching Stu and Jen do stuff was a lot of fun. And it's always weird now not being up, like playing with them every time I see them. But
yeah, you're like, it's my spot up there, right?
Not like that. It's just like I don't know. I miss like having the click with Callum's voice, top of the show and everything. So it's cool.
Yeah, that's fair.
A little FOMO.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to play during the CCMA weekend at all, or not really?
Yeah, I did some. I did a performance on the back of a truck. That was pretty fun.
Oh, right.
The F-150 thing?
Yep.
I think.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, I did a couple of those little things, so it was awesome. I can't wait for next year.
Me too. Calgary's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing a big showcase there too.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Teasing that out right now.
I don't know about you. I'm like the super extroverted person, so that stuff, I was just like, the humans were all back. We just, like, everybody, it was just so much fun. I'd go home and be, like, wired still.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to sleep until 3 o'clock at least.
That happens to me all the time. I'm, like, tired, and then I see someone, and then I'm, like, all revved up for...
I'm ready to go again. Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah.
It is crazy. Why don't we... talk about your latest single?
Yes,
yeah.
Ain't Like Me. Yeah, I'm excited about this one. It's another like high energy. It kind of like is a little bit like Lightning in certain ways.
It is, yeah.
It's very different, I guess, with the like the content. But yeah, it's a song that Jeff Warburton, Griffin Palmer, and Mark Schroer wrote, and we were looking at like what we're gonna do for the next song that we put out, and there were a few things being tossed around. And this just felt so perfect for what was going on in my life right now. I met a lady friend like a bit over a year ago. Yeah. And it kind of is just talking about how different we are, but somehow it works. She does a better job, but she describes the first day that she saw me, and she was over with some friends, and I had been up here working with Callum, and I came down the stairs in slow-mo, and I had those chipwreck shorts that are like very short on. I think I was wearing Crocs with really high socks, and a cut off a white Budweiser sweater, but I had spilled red wine all over it. And
Nate, you are painting yourself in the best picture possible. How can anyone not fall in love?
Killer.
I know. And she was like, that's my guy. 100%. I don't know why.
It's the Crocs. The Crocs and socks did it.
It was probably the Crocs. Except I think they were Callum's, it might have been Callum's Croc-offs, like the knockoff Crocs.
Croc-offs.
Yeah. So I don't know why, but definitely like if you look at us, it's maybe an odd pair. Not that matters, but it's kind of it's just like describes our thing so great. So I was excited to put that out, and I think it's gonna be a fun one live too. I'm always thinking about how songs are gonna go over live. So yeah, I'm excited to play it. We're gonna actually rehearse it tonight. So.
What's the response been to that one so far? It's been pretty good, as far from what I can tell, anyways.
Yeah, it's been great. People are listening to it on all the platforms and
DSPs.
Yeah, and there's been some radio support already, and yeah, it's going really good. When
you do the music video for this one,
yeah,
you need to be in your Crocs and socks for the entire music video.
We shot some content. And I don't know if it's going to get released or not, but I was wearing the exact same outfit. You're making a horrible face. I'm not a disgusting fella. A little bit. When
a Budweiser cutoff spilt with wine.
Well, I had an accident with the wine and it spilled. You guys haven't ever spilt wine before.
Jenna would never abuse alcohol like that.
Right.
That's a sin. That's a cardinal sin.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Well, I'm excited to see that.
Yeah. I should for the actual video. I should get in those old duds, and yeah.
Reenact the down the stairs
slow-mo with the molly going. Okay.
Yeah. Blowing in the wind.
Oh boy, she says.
We're just spitballing ideas here, brainstorming a little bit.
Yeah. This is a creative session now.
Yes.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
And it's all getting thrown right out. Back to the drawing board.
Everybody else, you're not doing that. Absolutely
can't
not.
do that. Nope.
The suits say no.
The suits say no. You can't be in a wine stained hoodie.
Is it the wine stained hoodie? Is it the short shorts, or is it the socks and Crocs? Or you know what?
Is it
it's
all
the combination. It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Isolate any of those and it might pass.
I think I look really cool in it. So I don't know what you want me to do.
I mean, Pixar didn't happen.
Yeah. I should try to find some. I'll find some right now.
Does your team give you a lot of like creative freedom, and you have the space to be, dare I say, goofy and quirky and yourself like that? Mm-hmm. Or
that's why I was really excited to work with them. They understand their artists and they push you to be more you than sometimes you're comfortable even being, which is great. I think that's
kind of refreshing.
That's the thing that you want, I feel like. So yeah, they let me do all sorts of stuff and try things, and it's always with them. It's always like best idea wins, which is the best, because it might not be my idea, it might not be theirs. It could be like Callum's or whoever, and it's just if it's a good idea, it'll stick. So they're great to work with.
That is pretty great.
Yeah.
You have like a really great team around you. It sounds like.
So let's play a little bit of a game that we have set up.
Okay. Is this like a spitfire, like a rapid thing, or do I get
ish?
Sort of. Ish. There's no pressure. You're not under a clock, but you have 30 seconds to answer all 8 of them. I'm just kidding. No.
Yeah, you don't have a clock, but you have a clock.
You steal my heart.
And we don't have a snappy name for this. It's just this or that.
This or that.
That's a pretty good name.
You have to pick one.
Okay. So I just pick one of the things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Gonna start it off easy. Are you a guy who likes a big party or a smaller gathering?
Oh, maybe small.
Yeah?
I like both. Can I say both? Can I say this and that?
It's not a comp-out.
The game is this or that?
That's not the game. That's my bad. Okay.
Do you prefer calling or texting?
Oh, calling. I was talking about this yesterday. I get so distracted by texts. I feel like I have to go out of what I'm doing. So my friend was like, do you want to play squash? The racket sport.
Love squash.
Yeah. So I played yesterday.
I grew up playing squash. I used to do tournaments. I'm such a nerd.
Oh, I bet you're really good.
When you know.
I haven't played since I was probably 16.
We should play. We'll do it.
I'd love it.
Okay. Where was I going with this? Oh, and he was like texting me like 3 times, and I called him. I was like, we can just squash this. See what I did there? I didn't mean to do that when I said it, by the way. That was shameless. But I called him, and I was like, do you want to play? Yes, this time. Okay, done. I like that. I like the old school call.
So when you have a friend who's like, do not call me unsolicited, do you text them and be like, can I give you a call?
I just call them.
Yeah, I do that to Jenna too. I'll call Jenna and she's like, why are you calling?
Well, you own a phone.
Both of you.
So unless you just want to email. If you just want to email, I support that. But then you can't have a phone. Sorry.
Fair.
I have to carry the computer around, is what you're saying.
Yep.
We're tabling
Whatever.
this one.
Next question.
Yeah.
Next question.
Jenna's done.
This is my game.
So
Okay. I forgive you. Sweet or salty?
Salty.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
Do you prefer like a small intimate show or like total arena concert situation?
I don't prefer one. I get more nervous before a small show because you can like see the people and feel their energy as opposed to just like one big energy. But I like intimate show better.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can kind of like...
I appreciate a smaller show better, too.
Yeah.
High school cafeteria or theater?
I can't do cafeterias anymore. They are ruthless in there. Although, one thing I like about cafeterias are those really, really big cookies. You know the ones in high schools? The huge cookies that...
Yep.
A soft cookie. So, if that's your next
like
question,
$1.25?
I like soft cookies, not crunchy.
That's a hot take.
Yep. Thank you for answering that.
Yep.
Really important one here. Are you a night owl or are you an early riser?
Definitely night, but I also kind of get up early. So I don't sleep much.
What's early?
Like my eyes open at 8. So I'm not like super early,
right.
but even if I go to bed at 4,
that's prime time,
which happens a lot, 4 or 5.
Okay, just a couple more.
Okay.
I think I know the answer to this one because of your previous outfit. Bush or Bud?
I like Bud, but recently, I hate to say this. Well, I don't hate to say it. I've been drinking Bush Lights, or just Bush actually. So I just like beer.
Okay.
Classic, right down the middle.
Fair.
Yeah, easy drinking.
Doesn't discriminate.
Fair.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. What's better, the feeling of hearing an amazing song for the first time, or the feeling of knowing you wrote a really good song? Like, I love this, and like feeling good about it.
Probably hearing other people's stuff, because that that gives me like kind of revs me up to go and try to write a cool song. So it's kind of a cyclical
it's the
thing.
Inspiration.
Yeah. And I feel like when I'm writing, I'm always thinking like, maybe that's not good. So it's not like I enjoy it. Yeah, kind of like back to that earlier question about like the song. Yeah, I don't know. You're just critical about it because that's kind of the name of the game.
Fair. Okay. And very last one. This might stir up some controversy. I don't know.
Oh.
Stuart Walker.
Yeah.
Or Callum Maudsley.
I can't pick. I saw them both last night, and
it's Sophie's choice.
I can't pick. I'd like to see them fight for me. We'll put them in a ring, and we'll see what happens.
I support this answer. That's really funny.
I thought you were gonna be like,
thank you.
There's no right answer because whichever I don't say is gonna kick my ass, and you're like, I want them to fight for me.
Yeah, I know my worth.
I respect that. Know your worth. Yeah. Absolutely.
No, I don't know. You can't pick. They're both great.
You have to say that. You lived with them. You worked with both
Callum's
of them.
Here right now on his way to a Reklaws rehearsal, and he might hear me.
Well, Nate, we certainly know your worth. We'd fight in a ring for you. That's super lame, but we would.
I appreciate that. And I appreciate you having me on. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, what do you have coming out that you want to plug?
Yeah, we're talking about Ain't Like Me these days, which I'm excited about. I got some shows coming up that some of them aren't announced at the moment, but go to my Instagram.
Mysterious.
And you can see all that, and hopefully I get to see everyone, including you guys at shows this summer.
You bet.
I sure hope so.
Why don't you tell listeners where they can find you on social media?
Ooh, I'm the Holler. I think it's I'm the Holler for everything now. So if you go there, you can see some silly photos of me and figure out what cities I'm going to be in.
Scroll back as far as possible, and you will find him in a fedora.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, multiple. You'll see multiple fedora shots. You'll see me looking not the same at all. Much younger. I've aged, you guys.
We all have.
It happens to the best of you.
The pandemic has aged us all like 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
It's been really awesome, Nate. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much for taking the time to join us.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for joining us on The Porch with Front Porch Music. I love talking to artists and digging deep into the world of Canadian country music, and I'm so excited you joined.
If you liked this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. That's the easiest way for you to support this show. You may even get a shout out. So we'll see you in a couple weeks next time on The Porch. On The Porch with Front Porch Music is hosted by me, Logan Miller, and Jenna Weiser. The theme song was written, produced, and performed by Owen Wrigley.